How Rich Asians Think, a Think and Grow Rich publication. Written by John C. Shin. Read for you by Matt Hicks. Every day you have the opportunity to change your destiny. John Shin. Thoughts are things. Conceive, believe, and achieve your dreams. What holds you back? If you're like most people, it's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, ill health, old age, or death. No matter what label you assign it, failure usually boils down to one thing: fear of the unknown. All that a man thinks and achieves, and all that he fails to achieve, is the direct result of his own thoughts. As a man thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains, said James Allen. Napoleon Hill also believed thoughts can and do become things. Think and Grow Rich opens with, truly thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. Definite purpose, persistence, and the burning desire make all the difference. Without these aspects, thoughts are unlikely to go beyond your head. If fear keeps you from dreaming big, create a dream that is larger than your fear. Imagine your dream coming true. Visualize it and make it so vivid and real that it energizes you above and beyond your feelings of uncertainty. Make the good outweigh the bad. Keep in mind that feeling anxious is much the same as feeling excited. Use this acronym to reframe fear in a positive light. Feeling excited and ready. FEAR. Fear is no laughing matter. Or is it? Have you ever tried laughing at your fear? Have you ever asked yourself what you are afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? Can you live with failure, assuming you survive? Try asking your brain, is this all you got? Is this the best you can do? Developing the ability to laugh at yourself will carry you past the small obstacles your brain throws out whenever you try something new. Fear is not the only thing holding people back. Some wander through life staying busy with mundane and insignificant tasks, taking it easy. It takes energy and effort to conceive, believe, and achieve your dreams. A comfortable routine is a perfect distraction. Unfortunately, this familiar pattern leads nowhere. It is merely one of the many tools we all use to mask our fears. Such tools often work together, at times so elaborately that we cannot unravel the truth from the stories we tell ourselves. Excuses, a sense of entitlement, a victim mentality, a lack of purpose, poor habits, poor choices, poor planning, quitting early, a lack of confidence and belief in yourself. The reasons why we don't follow our dreams are endless. Let's take a closer look at them and clear the deck for better things. Excuses, entitlement, and the victim mentality. The world is filled with people who want more money, a bigger house, a nicer car, and a better life. But most people are unwilling to improve themselves and make the changes necessary to obtain these things. Their expectations and sense of entitlement exceed their willingness to change. Instead of attracting what they want, they continually attract things that reflect who they are at their core. Ironically, many of these people get angry, point their fingers, and blame other people, circumstances beyond their control, politics, or even the weather for their struggles. Hill explains, we refuse to believe that which we do not understand. We foolishly believe that our own limitations are the proper measure of limitations. If you believe you're a victim of circumstance, you will remain stuck. You will be boxed in by your own self-imposed limitations. The minute you begin to realize your own creative power to control your destiny, you will become a master of self, and everything will start to change. Dr. Marissa Pei, inspirational speaker, TV commentator, consulting psychologist, author, and life coach, known as the Asian Oprah, seems about as far from stuck as one can get, but it wasn't always that way. Growing up, Marissa was not proud of her Chinese roots. Quote, I was Canadian-born Chinese in the predominantly German town of Kitchener, Canada. and the only Chinese girl in my school. I was made fun of a lot for something I could not change and called fat, ugly, and clumsy. In hindsight, I'm grateful I am Chinese. Embracing my roots served as a helping point for those who are not happy with all parts of them. My journey has been a wonderful one because it chiseled me into valuing all aspects of myself, which is a life journey all human beings benefit from." Unquote. When Marissa was growing up, her mom tried to protect her and keep her from being a person who stands up and speaks out. My mother used to say, "The nail that stands up gets hammered down." It's an old Chinese expression. Initially, Marissa thought she knew what path she would take in life. I thought I would go into medicine because all Asians should either do medicine or law, right? But I dated a guy in high school who died of leukemia. I watched him die and knew I couldn't do medicine as a career. So I picked my favorite elective, psychology. Instead of taking her childhood experiences and pain to heart and turning others' negative thoughts and ideas into things that defined her, Marissa used them to motivate her into building a life she could be proud of, starting with a career as a model. I became a model to prove people wrong and discovered I loved business and the behind-the-scenes activities of the agency more. Marissa already had a degree in psychology, but had realized she didn't have the patience to become a clinical psychologist. I went into organizational psychology to combine my interest in business with psychology and dynamics of behavior at work. And she was very successful, consulting with Fortune 500 businesses and teaching at UCLA for 6 years. People said I should get into public speaking because they thought my presentations were dynamic and inspiring. So I got involved in on-camera work and started doing keynotes. Marissa followed a path to success that meandered, as many do, always remembering where she started, using her painful beginnings to push her to the next rung on the ladder she'd put before herself. But she stalled at times, dealing with many of the same negative thoughts that once motivated her. Along the way, I married a man who made me feel less than, not good enough, and who brought me down. An expensive and painful divorce led to the belief in a higher power greater than me. I started examining my life and my inner landscape, trying to find my true purpose. Then it hit me. I realized I was not alone. We are all part of life, of energy. We all struggle. But what to do with that knowledge? Psychologists have correctly said that when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. In Marissa's case, this is exactly what happened. I woke up at 4:30 a.m. one day to a voice in my head that said, radio. I got up and spent 45 minutes writing a prospectus, a business plan, and a manifesto for a talk radio show on business, health, and happiness called Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. The rest is history. 500,000 people have downloaded Marissa's show, and she has over 180,000 regular listeners in over 100 countries. She combined her life experience with her newfound purpose in life and turned a middle-of-the-night idea into success on her terms, going on to write best-selling books, appear on television shows and in documentaries, speak in front of large audiences worldwide, and receive award after award, including the iconic Woman of the Year award in 2017. What a different story men would have to tell if only they would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession, Hill said. Hannah and Marissa Brandt, 2018 Olympic hockey players, Hannah with Team USA and Marissa with Team Korea, started playing hockey when they were only 5 years old. The sisters were always very close. The Brandts adopted Marissa from South Korea when she was an infant, and Hannah was born 11 months later. We grew up in Minnesota. Our dad owned a carpet cleaning business, and Mom owned a store. They supported us with every opportunity, Marissa recalled. My parents even sent us to Korean culture camp. Hannah kept going back because she loved the food and learning about the Korean culture. Hannah says she never thought of her sister as being adopted. They did everything together, including learning to skate. I went to preschool with another girl named Hannah. One day, our medications got mixed up, and in the process of sorting it out, we became friends with the family. That family was into hockey, and ours was not. As a result of this friendship, I started skating. The other Hannah went on to figure skating, but I continued with hockey, the sport I love more than any other, Hannah said. Hannah recalls watching the Olympics in 2002 in Salt Lake City and telling her mom she wanted to play in the Olympics one day. My mom told me to keep working hard and they'd find me. I constantly practiced, shooting pucks in the driveway and working on my skills. While Marissa didn't share her sister's dream of playing in the Olympics and started out wanting to be a figure skater, she loved the sport, the team aspect, and being with her sister more than the girly outfits that initially drew her to figure skating. Although they came to it in different ways, the sisters adopted definite purposes early in life, never wavering from their goals, and creating lifelong habits that aided them on their road to Olympic glory. Thought quickly matures into habit, and habit sets into condition. One cannot choose circumstances, but you can choose your thoughts, which indirectly shape your circumstances. Or, as Hill puts it, success comes to those who become success conscious. Failure comes to those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure conscious. Another weakness found in altogether too many people is the habit of measuring everything and everyone by their own impressions and beliefs. When it comes to money, we all have a default mode based on complex programming we learned as children. Hill asks, are you money conscious or poverty conscious? Musician Ray Parker Jr. learned how to manage money from his dad. He taught me to save my money and live off the interest, preserve the golden goose, and eat the eggs. Ray grew up in Detroit, about 10 blocks from the heart of the Motown music scene. He is a guitarist, singer-songwriter, record producer, and actor, best known for writing and performing the theme song to the 1984 movie Ghostbusters and playing with his band Radio and with Barry White. He has written numerous songs for top stars, but the guitar is his focus. In 1994, he married his wife Elaine. They have 4 sons, Ray III, Little Ray, Redmond, Gibson, and Jericho. In 2014, Parker received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions to music. But he's remained a humble man with a healthy relationship to money. I have friends who tried to convince me to buy an $8 million house in Beverly Hills. I decided to buy a $1.1 million house next to Frank Sinatra back in 1980. My friends all thought it was too small. They were the ones who couldn't hang in there down the road. I'm glad I didn't cave to the social pressure and stuck to my core values regarding health and finance. Today I'm in good shape in both respects. Riches come in many forms. What's important is to spend time dialing in on what being rich means to you. If money is your prime motivator, that's okay. The important thing is to put money in perspective for yourself. What do you think about when you think about money? What's the first thing you thought when you read the question? Deeper still, what are your beliefs about money? Let's look at Mr. Hill's question again. Are you money conscious or poverty conscious? Be honest. When you examine your income history, do you see an increase, a decrease, or a steady number? Most people find that they stay within a narrow margin of earning. If you're accustomed to making $40,000 each year, you've most likely developed a habit of living within this income level. To break free of this earnings rut, something needs to change. You've already started this process by thinking about it. Change your default. Poverty is the default mode, the baseline of having no money or barely enough to survive. No effort is required to live in poverty. Without deliberately creating a plan to attract and earn money, you will live at the default level. If your thoughts surrounding money are mostly fearful or negative, you're also thinking from a position of poverty. Poverty is attracted to the one whose mind is favorable to it, as money is attracted to one whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it, said Hill. To move from poverty thinking to money thinking, be conscious and clear about what success looks like to you. Images and pictures are an enormous help because pictures speak the language of our minds. Spend time immersed in dreams, collecting images that resonate with you, reviewing your plans and goals, and taking the steps necessary to achieve success. When you begin to look at money as something exciting and ditch the thoughts holding you back, the door to change opens. Once it opens, act with a plan and dreams in hand. Because without action, it's all talk, hopes, and wishes. Execute, my friend. Poor choices. Every day, you have the opportunity to change your destiny. Everything you've accomplished in your life started off as a single moment. You took your first step, made your first move, and made things happen. Everything you are today and all you have right now are the results of every choice and every action you made in the past. Everything you will become hinges upon today in this very moment. You may feel like you're stuck. You're too busy. You have other obligations. Life is hard. All of these things are true only if you believe them. Only if you believe the stories you create. We're all storytellers with unlimited imaginations. You could just as easily believe life is great no matter what happens. You could believe nothing that happens is inherently bad. It's your choice. Perhaps you're struggling financially. You may find, as I have, that money isn't everything. Money won't necessarily make you happy, nor will a lack of money make you unhappy. There are plenty of miserable millionaires who attempt to find internal peace and fulfillment by spending money, putting on masks, and showing off their wealth. And we all know people who, with very little money or material possessions, radiate a glow of peace and calm that cannot be bought. You have a priceless piece of computerized technology with the highest precision virtual reality unit working between your ears, 24/7. And nobody has one exactly like you. You are unique. All change starts in a single moment. Every moment has potential. When I say change, I mean your perspective. Your feelings of frustration, your feelings of pressure and worry, even hopelessness can easily become ease and optimism. You have the power. You are the magician. You have the magic in you at your fingertips. Only you can decide to use it. 3 feet from gold. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill uses a powerful visual image. Imagine being a gold miner digging and searching for buried treasure, repeatedly coming up empty. After a few weeks of nothing, you give up. You've had enough and throw in the towel. Now imagine a camera that is capable of showing the network of tunnels you've made panning back to reveal a massive vein of gold a mere 3 feet from where you quit. Ouch, right? According to Hill, one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Everyone has made this mistake. I made it so often I formed the habit of giving a little extra when I am coming up short on things. I figure, I've come this far, what's a little extra? Have you ever struggled with paying a little more for a better quality item? If the basic model costs $20 and the better one costs $25, your decision is only about the $5 difference. You're spending at least $20 no matter which option you choose. This change in perspective often makes it easier to give a little more. Operating without a plan. You've all heard the expression, slow and steady wins the race. In the classic tortoise versus the hare road race, the hare rockets off to an almost insurmountable lead, while the tortoise slowly plods along. Everyone expects the hare to win without challenge, but he runs into unexpected obstacles, distraction, overconfidence, and the lure of old habits. He's so far in front that he loses sight of his goal and primary purpose, which is to win the race. Although he made significant strides at first, ultimately he never crosses the finish line. This is the pattern many people experience as they begin pursuing their New Year's resolutions. They set the bar high without thinking their resolutions through. Then they start to lose interest because they lose focus or don't create the habits necessary to sustain their efforts. The tortoise, on the other hand, was clear about his objective, to become the winner of the race. He was clear about his game plan and focused on what he needed to achieve. He broke it all down into more deliberate, manageable steps. The key to achieving any goal is to be clear about the big picture and then work backward to the milestones and finally the daily steps. The beautiful example the tortoise sets is that because he is clear about who he wants to be, he can pace himself, and keep moving forward toward his goal. Be clear about who you want to be and why. Once you are clear on this goal, break it down into daily resolutions designed to keep you moving forward each day. Focus builds confidence and energy. When you think with purpose and communicate your desires persistently, people sit up and take notice. This is when the magic happens. Your idea gets picked up by others, then it gets magnified, altered, and augmented. It expands and grows exponentially. It becomes an avalanche of energy. Almost immediately you receive resources, input, and modifications to your idea, both directly and indirectly. Your concept moves from an if to a when. The only question that remains is whether you stay the steward of your idea or it gets picked up by another to carry it to fruition. Multi-millionaire and business mogul Penny Uy once said, "I set a goal to have $2 million in cash by the time I was 40, earning 5%, so I would have $100,000 in passive income. I wrote it down and reviewed it everywhere in my house and around my office. Can you believe I made it before I turned 40? I credit my sureness of thought, the purpose that I communicated persistently, the dream I worked toward. I know my next 50 years will be 10 times bigger than my first 50. My reach and impact on people will be that much bigger," Penny said. "Hard work is fundamental, and saving money plays a major role in success. My parents taught me that." Our thoughts are direct results of our inputs: books, media, education, and personal influences. If you feel stuck or as if you are drifting aimlessly without any goals, it may be time to change the station and begin managing your inputs. Doing the same things and thinking the same thoughts but expecting different results is insane. So how do we change our programming? Stop it. Our thoughts impact how we feel. How we feel impacts our actions. Our actions directly affect our results. So it makes sense that if we want to change our results, we must begin by changing our thoughts, especially when they're not serving us. When you wake up in the morning and your head is a swirl of negative thoughts, it's not long before you're feeling down, depressed, and even hopeless. We've all been there. And it can feel impossible to break free of this pattern once it starts. But you can. Begin focusing on being wealthy and successful. If this is not currently your habit, start believing you are already wealthy and successful. Why? Because you are. Remember, it's not all about money. It may take a little time to shift your perspective, and this may be the not-so-good news because it requires some effort and change on your part. You must define what wealth and success mean to you. For some people, being wealthy is all about money, assets, and unlimited options to purchase the latest and greatest trinkets and material goods. For others, wealth and success mean freedom, family, relationships, flexibility, and time to do what they want when they want, not how much money they have in the bank. David Fishoff, the founder of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, believes success is something different for everyone. Over the years, what I thought was success for other people wasn't success to me. This observation raises an interesting point about the way we all tend to measure our success against that of others. This can create discomfort and uncertainty for some people as they pursue goals that might lead them away from the traditional view of success. David's early career as a concert and event promoter and sports agent meant that he was surrounded by the rich and famous. People like Ringo Starr, players with the New York Yankees and Giants, and the Monkees. Although he was successful by any measure, his idea of success didn't waver. Success for me has always been my family, seeing my kids and grandkids, and hoping my children will out-succeed me. With the camp, I'm not necessarily getting rich, but I love what I do. He gives us the secret formula in Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So simple, yet powerful. Unlimited potential for those who believe. Flexible in definition, recognizing success is how you define it for yourself. Let's break it down. Conceive. Hill devotes an entire chapter in Think and Grow Rich to the imagination and reminds us that humans can create anything they can imagine. Machines, music, architecture, food, works of art, and constructions of every conceivable kind. If it doesn't exist in nature or come from the planet, everything we know was created first in the imagination of a human mind. Although he may not have foreseen the future of cell phones, Gene Roddenberry's concept of the flip-open communicator used in the original Star Trek series inspired Motorola to produce one of the earliest commercial cell phone designs in 1996, a flip phone appropriately named StarTAC. What began as a thought became a thing once the crazy genius idea was released into the world, making it real. Today, others have harnessed the energy of that idea and augmented and expanded it well beyond Roddenberry's wildest imagination. Captain Kirk would be proud. Imagination is a blank canvas, unrestricted, ungoverned, and unlimited in its potential. There is no end to the possibilities of what can be drawn, painted, written, designed, or placed upon the imagination's blank slate. In this area, the only limitations are ones we place upon ourselves. Hill says there are no limitations to the mind except those that we acknowledge. Self-imposed limitations form the walls we build around ourselves. These figurative walls provide a sense of safety, security, and order. They also confine, define, and undermine our efforts to spread our wings and fly. Venturing out of our comfort zone is difficult, which is why many people limit their thinking to create the illusion of control. The reality is that our thoughts are the only thing we can control. Nature has endowed man with absolute control over but one thing, and that is thought, Hill points out in Think and Grow Rich. Belief. Belief is perhaps the most essential ingredient in achieving success in any area of life. Our beliefs form our operating system. They run in the background subconsciously and imperceptibly affecting our results. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, the results will be automatic, like a self-fulfilling machine. Most people tend to place limitations on their thinking and expression in specific areas because they don't believe the results they desire are possible. It is common among people in Asian cultures to be more reserved when expressing their thoughts and ideas, to value silence, and to avoid speaking out of turn or rocking the boat. Although times are changing, heritage and multi-generation family values are still a potent force among many Asian cultures today. Sometimes, the disparity holding us back is the difference between what we think we deserve and what we honestly believe is possible. It's one thing to have a great idea and get fired up about it, but it's another to think the idea is possible and to act and follow through on it. Your results are directly related to your belief in your ideas and yourself. Believing in yourself takes courage. Following your heart is painful at times. If what you want is something you genuinely think you can accomplish, you will find a way. Period. Napoleon Hill and other notable authorities on success and achievement have taught me to express my thoughts and ideas and expand my thinking about what I deserve and believe is possible. The more I share with others, the more they advance and grow too, perfectly illustrating Hill's concept that thoughts are things. Achievement. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Your position in life and what you have accomplished so far are the result of your actions. I've had some fantastic dreams I've acted upon, producing tangible results. I've also had my share of dreams that are still sitting on the shelf in my library of unfulfilled dreams. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having an active imagination or unfulfilled dreams. There are only so many hours in a day and so many dreams we can pursue at once. How does this idea make you feel? Where do you set the bar for settling? How much is good enough? Only you can answer these questions. There's no judgment and no right or wrong answer. If you're living your life by your own design and getting the results you desire, then congratulations. Bravo. Good for you. If not, review what's holding you back. My bet is the answer lies somewhere in your belief system, specifically in your beliefs about yourself and what you can or should achieve. On the surface, the big issue may appear to be a lack of time and being too busy to do more. But too busy is a symptom of a deeper issue. Life is complicated and demanding. We all tend to pack our schedules with false priorities. These are distractions, excuses really. Sometimes they are necessary distractions, but they are distractions from your goals and dreams nonetheless. Your future starts now. Your future starts today, right now, at this very moment. Every breath you take represents the present moment. Your previous breath is already in the past. Life, energy, and unlimited potential course through your veins, waiting to be unleashed in the pursuit of your goals and dreams. You are a miracle. What's holding you back? The big takeaway. What you think repeatedly, you will believe. The more you think you can, the more you believe you can. Be careful, because the opposite is also true. Wisdom from the Asian Mastermind. What you habitually think largely determines what you will ultimately become. Bruce Lee, actor and martial arts master. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Buddha, prince, warrior, meditator, and teacher. I try to believe like I believed when I was 5, when your heart tells you everything you need to know. Lucy Liu, actor. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher, author of the Tao Te Ching, founder of Taoism. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. Buddha. We're never in lack of money. We lack people with dreams, people who can die for those dreams. Jack Ma, Chinese businessman, philanthropist, and the founder and executive chairman of Alibaba Group. He is the wealthiest person in Asia. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Bruce Lee. Money is really just an idea. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author and founder of the Rich Dad Company. Happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think. Buddha. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. Lao Tzu. The men I idolized built their bodies and became somebody like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought, that can be me, so I started working out. The funny thing is, I didn't realize back then I was having a defining moment. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, actor. None of us are getting out if you're alive, so please stop treating yourself like an afterthought. Eat the delicious food, walk in the sunshine, jump in the ocean. Say the truth that you're carrying in your heart like hidden treasure. Be silly, be kind, be weird. There's no time for anything else. Keanu Reeves, actor. Growth exercises. Perfect your elevator speech. Explain your beliefs about wealth and success by communicating them to someone else in 30 seconds or less. You should be able to convey with authority and crystal clarity why you want to be wealthy and successful and what you intend to do in exchange for that wealth. 1. Craft one sentence that clearly states your objective. 2. Write a paragraph that clearly explains your objective. 3. Print them out. 4. Review and practice your speech twice a day for the next month. Feed your thoughts. 1. Practice gratitude. Start a gratitude journal or whatever works for you. Pinterest is fun. The important thing is to record at least 3 things you are grateful for each day. This can be something fun to share with your partner or children. Try journal drawing. 2. Say no more often to drudgeries and yes more often to fun. 3. Find and start working with 3 auto-suggestions designed to improve the quality of your self-talk. See the chapter on auto-suggestion for guidance. 4. Clearly define what success means to you. 5. Do little things today to achieve bigger things tomorrow. 6. Don't blame others or make up excuses. 7. Learn from others. Ask one person for advice this week on something related to your ultimate dream.